If you want to reach your goals, your dreams, you need to keep pushing. This means maximizing time and productivity in your studio. On days when music is just not flowing, here are 5 things you can do to stay productive. Sometimes you just can't force creativity, but you can do a few things that will make your time more effective when inspiration strikes. If you're new around here, I'm SanjayC. You'll find other music production tips and gear reviews on my channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll be sure to make it worth your while. First, you can maximize the time it takes to get ideas recorded by creating a template in your DAW. This ensures that when you have a great idea, you're not wasting time hunting for sounds and getting set up. You do this by starting with a blank session, and then add basic elements that form a launching point for your ideas. Add a track for drums, bass, a pad, and then a melodic sound. I like using the piano, and insert on those tracks your favorite neutral sounds, like a generic drum kit, a simple pad. I suggest using stock plugins here so that minimizes load times whenever you load this template. If you have a chord plugin like Cthulhu, you can add that and route it to your pad track, and you'll be ready to experiment with chords as well. Now you can open this project anytime to start putting down a great idea when you hear it in your head. Once the basic idea is recorded, you can spend more time replacing the sounds as you see fit. In this template, you should also add your favorite reverb and delay to the return tracks. Adding plugins to your return tracks will save your CPU power because you can route multiple tracks to them. You know all those drum hits, one-shots, and percussion samples you have and maybe you don't use as much as you should? My next tip is going to help you finally make the best use of them. When you have a lot of time and no inspiration, don't shut down your studio and turn on the TV. Create a drum kit instead. Taking the time to create drum kits is not only a lot of fun to do, it'll save you so much time in the future. It's pretty easy to create drum kits in Ableton or any DAW. I've created a kit for lo-fi beats, for trap beats, and I really love them because it's a huge time saver. Here's another trick. Load up a blank drum kit and fill every pad with the ADSR Sample Manager plugin. It's free, by the way. In the Sample Manager plugin, you have access to all your drum samples. Choose a kick, and then move to another pad, and choose a snare, and so on. This creates a basic kit with drum sounds that you like. Add this to your template, and now you never have to search for a drum kit again. And when you're ready to choose drum hits that work with your beat, you've got access to all your samples right here in this kit. Audition and replace as much as you want. I show you how to use Sample Manager and set up a kit like this in a video here. Here's another fun tip that can spark inspiration. Organize your favorites in your DAW. Different DAWs handle favorites in different ways. In Ableton, you can color code any plugin, any sound, any sample, and even presets that you've created. You'll see my color-coded folders on the left over here. I've organized my folders by instruments, vocal, effects, sounds, lo-fi, mastering, and UAD for my UAD plugins. Name your favorites in any way that works for you. These are things I reach for all the time. Let's take a quick look. The first folder includes my favorite instrument plugins. The next, my favorite effects plugins. This is my go-to stuff. And when I record a vocal, I've saved my entire vocal chain into a preset and added it to this folder. I don't make lo-fi music all the time, but some lo-fi plugins add character and realness to a song. You can create folders by genre if you produce different types of music. And when I'm ready to master, I've got my mastering plugins ready to go. Before I get to the next 2 tips, if you're finding this information useful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, I want to learn from you too. What do you do to keep your studio or DAW organized? Share your best tips in the comments below. All right, next up is creating presets. Now here, I'm not recommending that you sound design from scratch for hours. I'm actually recommending that you take some of your favorite sounds and improve them to get them ready to use in your next beat or song. This is particularly important if you don't own or you don't want to spend a lot of money on expensive third-party plugins that have those ready-to-use presets. Improve what you already have, what you got free with your DAW. Start with a very basic sound and then add some effects to it. Let's take this pluck sound that comes free with Ableton. Sounds a little boring and blah, not very inspiring, but add some delay and some reverb and maybe OTT. And you may have something that will start sparking ideas. But more importantly, save this as a preset and then add it to one of your favorites folders. There's so much you probably haven't tried from your stock plugins. Create a collection of some sounds that you love and even add them to that template you created. It's going to help your ideas flow when creativity is at its peak, and you won't be wasting time tweaking your sounds. All right, the last tip is about your studio environment itself. And again, this is something you do to prepare for the times when your inspiration creativity level is high. Make your space inspiring. Maybe it's time to clean up your surroundings and make it beautiful. Maybe add some things that inspire you. I love old toys and old robots in particular, and I collect these whenever I find them, and you've probably seen a lot of them in my videos. They just make me happy in my studio space. You can also add some cool lighting or some paint to those walls. Create a space that you want to come back to, that invites creation. Did you notice something about all of these tips? They're free. You can do everything without spending more money. And like I said, your future inspired self will love you for doing this. Now, go be productive, make the music you love, and hey, if you feel like you need to learn more about music production to get your creative ideas down, check out one of my music production tutorials next. I'll see you there.